physicians had suggested that I say whatever I needed to and say goodbye to him in the event that he didn't get through surgery. One thing I said to him was, "I'm glad we laughed today." All I'd been told before I left for the hospital was that the dog had bit him. And even my 7-year-old was crying and just said the dog bit Ashton, the dog bit Ashton. If I recall correctly, the message I received from the physicians was that he had nearly 600 stitches and staples to his head, face, and neck. His right ear was hanging by the lobe. It had been torn away from his head. He had multiple bites to his head and to his face and to his neck. His right eyelid was lacerated in half. That's where you rely on experts. You rely on the physicians. When it came time to speak to legal, we relied on experts there as well. When my husband and I first met with Martin, he did not overwhelm us. He understood that we were in a fragile state. He had a human side that demonstrated to me that he would work hard and advocate hard for our family. He didn't only ask how Ashton was doing, but his next question was to ask us how we were.
Every injury affects a person totally different. We have to slow ourselves down and really try to put ourselves into their shoes as to how this accident affected their lives. And that means figuring out how these bills are going to be paid, how the mortgage is going to be paid, how the family is going to support themselves without sometimes the breadwinner being in the hospital and unable to work. So we usually make sure that we can provide for them in terms of putting them together with the necessary resources so that their bills do get paid and that they can try to carry on and start the rebuilding process in their life.
When my husband did go back to work, it was a while before we had a paycheck. Financially, it was very difficult. There was only savings to pay the bills. We were struggling. They anticipated that his rehabilitation would take a few months and that he would be in the hospital for an extended period of time. He was in the hospital for 21 days. Now, when we got home, there was more work to do. A real benefit to retaining Martin G. Schulz and Associates, where we didn't have expertise and we were unable to advocate for ourselves, Martin and his team were gathering the information that they required to be able to advocate for us with the insurance company to recover our losses on a financial side of things. That was when Martin came up with a list of resources.
When it comes down to fighting for our clients, we really are prosecutors. We prosecute personal injury claims until we get full compensation for our clients.